So I finally got to watch Smile 2, and oh boy do I have a lot to say. Before we begin, a little disclaimer. Obviously this video is gonna have some spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie, maybe you wanna skip on it. But also, whatever I'm gonna say in this video is just my opinion, and it's not gonna be the most popular opinion. And with that being said, let's get right into the video. So to give you a little bit of a backstory, me and my wife watched the first Smile movie a few years ago when it came back, and we loved the movie, we enjoyed it a lot, and since we heard that there's a Smile 2 coming out, we've been extremely excited for this movie. And in case you're wondering why did it take me this long to review the movie, to be honest with you, the theater we have nearby, it doesn't have the best screen, so me and my wife don't really like to go watch movies there. We have a decent TV set up at home, so we just like to watch movies at home mostly. And to be honest, I feel like you just feel more intimate with the movie when you're at home, and I feel like that helps me judge the movie a little bit better. So we had to wait for it to be available online so we could watch it at home, and that we did. So let's start with the pros, and I'm gonna keep this pretty short. Smile 2 on its own is actually a pretty decent horror movie. It's enjoyable, it is fun, and it's just a decent horror movie. And honestly, it's a good contender considering that we didn't really have many good horror movies in 2024. So yeah, on its own, it's actually good. But with that being said, let's get to the cons. And my first con begins with the name itself, Smile 2. See, as I said earlier, my opinion is not going to be the most popular because me and my wife had very specific expectations for this movie. Before I began recording this video, I actually did ask my wife, I was like, do you have any particular points you'd like to bring up that you didn't like about the movie so I could include it in the video? And she did give me a few points. And the first point, which will get us started with the movie, and that is continuation. See, with the name Smile 2, we expected it to continue the story of the first movie and add on to it and make it into something more detailed and in-depth. But the fact is, if you actually were hoping for a continuation, this movie gave you the middle finger in the first few minutes of the movie. See, here's the thing. Smile 2 starts very strong, and it had the guy from the first movie to continue on to the movie. Or that's at least what we thought. Because in the first few minutes of the movie, that guy gets hit by a truck and gets freaking demolished. And it felt almost like the movie makers were telling us, hey, if you're here for a continuation, hard luck. You're getting none of that. And to be honest, I was a little salty about that because I really wanted to continue from where the first movie left off and add on to that and see what happened in between. But I just felt like I didn't get that, and so did my wife. Now, the second thing my wife did not like about the movie, and that was she wanted more of a background on the entity or the demon or whatever you want to call it. She wanted a little bit more of a backstory, a little bit more of an in-depth detail about how everything began and got to start and all of that. And now, to be fair, I don't remember if Smile 1 went into depth about that because it's been a while since we watched that movie and my memory is very foggy about it, but I just don't recall them going ever in depth about that. Now, the third point for my wife is very similar to the second, and that is lack of information. My wife felt like the movie just did not provide enough information about the entity, about the characters, about the story, didn't add on any information about the first movie we watched, so she was a little bit unhappy with the lack of information. And with that being said, let's get to what I think about the movie also. Let me begin this part of the video with a funny little story. Around the 1 hour and 30 minute mark of the movie, I paused the movie to go grab a few snacks. We had some cinnamon rolls in the fridge, so I grabbed them, I was warming them up. So while the cinnamon rolls are warming up, I look at my wife and I'm like, you know what? I'm starting to realize that we are an hour and 30 minutes in this movie and we really didn't get much done. And here is what I meant by that. What I meant is in that 1 hour and 30 minutes, all that was memorable is the girl drinking Voss water 100 times, some silly goofy dance scenes that were making me cringe at times. And I know what you're gonna say, oh, they're portraying a pop star, that's why those scenes were there, to portray to us that she is popular and she does dancing and all of that. You know what, dude? That scene of her getting photo shoots and stuff like that was more than enough to portray that point. We didn't need it every 10 minutes, okay? Come on now. 3, innovative, flashy cam work. Look, I don't know what they were trying to do there, like, oh look, we're so innovative and cool, we could do so many things with camera, but to me at times it felt like the cameraman was going like this. I swear that's how it felt like to me. And 4, mental breakdowns. Oh my goodness. I'm telling you that 1 hour and 30 minutes literally felt like Voss water, silly dances, flashy camera work, mental breakdowns. But to be fair, look, the beginning was solid, it was up, it went kind of down in the middle of the movie, but the last 30 minutes, it went back up again. The last 30 minutes were really, really solid, and it made up for a lot of it. But before we get to the last 30 minutes, I want to bring on another couple of points, and I would love to know your opinions, guys. Did you guys feel the same about this as well, or is it just me? One of those things is, remember that scene where she was in her apartment and she got attacked by all these smiling guys and girls? Look, dude, I don't know, the way they were moving and all that crap they were doing, it felt so cringe. It was not intimidating in the least. I feel like simplicity is best in these kind of scenes. I truly feel like if it was just these people standing and smiling and walking towards her slowly, it would have been so much more intimidating and scary than whatever the hell that was. And I would love to know if you agree on this point. And also, please do let me know in the comment section down below. What did you think about the movie? Did you enjoy it? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? I welcome all of your opinions in your comments, and they're always appreciated. And also another thing I would like to add, the Morris scene in the bar, when he was explaining the curse and everything, that scene was so rushed in my opinion. I don't know, I feel like they didn't add any much new information to it, and they rushed that scene. It's almost like, you know what, this is not important, screw that, let's add more silly dances because that's a lot more important to the story, right? But I don't know, that scene felt like a little rushed to me, and it felt like it could have been a good opportunity to add even more information and details to the movie. But instead, it felt like they didn't even care about doing that. Now moving on to the last 30 minutes of the movie. Those last 30 minutes were actually pretty solid, and it was pretty fast-paced, and a lot happened in those 30 minutes. But even that felt like a problem. Now everybody in the comment section is like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? He's saying that the last 30 minutes were actually good, but that's a problem? What the hell, bro? Do you not like anything? I promise you I'm not this picky, but we really loved the first movie, and the second one felt like such a waste of potential. So it ended up making us really sad about it. But going back to it, why do I think the last 30 minutes, as good as they were, it's actually a bad thing? Because you know what that felt like to me? You know when you have an exam and you didn't study the whole month, and it's like the last 2 days and you're like rushing the hell out of it? You're like, oh my god, I didn't do crap to prepare for this exam. I'm just gonna zoom through the freaking book and try to get at least a passing grade on the exam. That's exactly what it felt like to me. It felt like they were going so slow, chilling, relaxing, doing whatever in the first hour and a half, and in the last 30 minutes they're like, we're running out of time, damn it. We wasted an hour and a half. Let's make up for it in the last 30 minutes. Let's just zoom through this movie. And that's what it felt like to me. Which, to be honest with you, it left us completely disappointed. We were holding tears back at the end of this movie. The movie was just a repetition of the first one. Nothing new was added to it. It just felt like the first same story repeated. You got a person, gets the smile curse, they go completely insane, and then the movie ends up with them dying. It's literally the same thing repeated again. The whole movie was the same exact thing in a way, but they had this concept for the ending that the curse this time targeted this popular girl so she could get all these fans cursed as well. And look, I'm gonna say it again. On its own, it was a decent movie. It was enjoyable, but not with the name Smile 2. Maybe if they called it a Smile Repeated, Smile Once Again, maybe even Smile 1.5, but not Smile 2, damn it. And one last thing I would like to add, as of right now, the movie is rated 7 out of 10 on IMDb. Usually these ratings go down with time as more people start rating it. And to me, guys, I just don't know how these ratings work because it doesn't feel fair. And the reason I say that, recently I watched a movie called Speak No Evil, starring James McAvoy, and that movie was a lot more scary and a lot more solid as a horror movie, in my opinion. And by the way, if you'd like me to speak about that movie, I have no problem at all. Just let me know in the comment section, and I will make a video about it as well. But as of right now, that movie is sitting at a 6.9, I believe, and Smile 2 is sitting at a 7, and I feel like that movie was a lot better than Smile, so I can't really make much sense out of that. But yeah, I was always curious about how do IMDb ratings work? Because I don't know, man. Some movies feel like they're completely whack, and sometimes they get rated better than movies that are actually a little decent at least. And with my opinion being shoved down your throat, I hope you guys actually enjoyed the video. And if you did, please do like the video and subscribe. It doesn't cost you a penny, but it helps out the channel a lot. A matter of fact, let's make a little gentleman's agreement. I will make videos that you enjoy, and all you gotta do is like and subscribe. Sounds pretty fair, isn't it? And by the way, if you're new here on this channel, I make some gaming videos, I make some movie reviews, and I just talk about things that I'm interested in usually. And chances are, if you're watching this, we're probably interested in the same things, so you're probably gonna like the other videos as well. And with all that being said, you guys stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.